Hey guys, potential shift here. It is Thursday, July 9th. It is 9:32 a.m. Opening bell just rang. Let's get it started for today. Day trading in SPY. Getting a little late start as usual. But again, I don't like to trade the first few minutes. They're generally noise. Let's avoid them. We don't want to get trapped in any just up and down random noise. And the first few minutes, almost without fail, are. So what's our dominant story today? Obviously, we've still got the Iran strikes going on, increased hostilities overnight, Trump sort of giving conflicting messages with, we may be talking to them about peace, but then again, we may capture Carg Island. So again, I'm going to say what I've said since the very beginning of the war, which is I think the effects on the broader market of the Iran stuff are very ambiguous, very nebulous. It's hard to tell how it affects the broader market, right? It's bad for a lot of companies, but it's also good for oil companies. It's good for defense contractors. What it clearly does is raise oil prices. Hostilities in the Middle East, closing down the Strait of Hormuz, capturing Carg Island, all of these things obviously are going to raise oil prices. In fact, in my opinion, I think the renewed hostilities to an extent are an effort to raise oil prices. Higher oil prices and fighting in the Middle East is not a bad thing for the United States. The United States produces a lot of oil, a lot of natural gas and resources like that. And guess what? We don't use the Strait of Hormuz. So higher prices and all of those things, actually pretty good for the United States, Is it good for the global economy? No. Is it good for the U.S. and our energy and defense manufacturers? You bet. So in terms of how it affects the broader market, the Iran stuff, it is hard to say. But what it does do is it raises oil prices. Now, with that said, right now, oil prices are down. USO is down almost 2 points, 1.57%. Not a surprise. Not a surprise. It's not going to go in a straight line, all right? It's not going to just, you're going to wake up and USO is going to be up 10 points. Not at this point, okay? Now, if this war were a complete surprise, yes, all right? You'd wake up and oil prices will have shot up because, it shocks the market. None of this is shocking to the market. So you can't expect oil prices to just rocket higher. None of this catches the market off guard. This is going to be a move higher in oil that tests the weak hands, all right? It's going to see who can hold and who can't, because that's the way the market works. If every obvious play immediately occurred, everyone would be a millionaire, right? We'd all make the obvious play and it would happen right away. Like we woke up yesterday, we'd all get long oil because there's renewed hostilities in the Middle East, and we'd all get fabulously wealthy as oil shot higher. That's not the way the market works, right? The market is based on game theory, largely. Yes, over long periods of time, over months and years, the market moves on fundamentals. But over short periods of time, the market moves on algo game theory, right? It moves on, how do I get the best price here, right? How do I beat the other guy in the market? I mean, this is a market, right? It's a trading market, like selling cars or selling houses. And the point is to beat the other guy, all right? To out-trade them. So obvious plays don't generally work, right? Now, USO moving higher is an obvious play, which is why, but at the same time, the fundamentals are going to pull it so strongly higher, and it's been moving lower so rapidly that I think it will move higher, but not without testing people's nerves, all right? It's not just going to go right there. It's going to make sure that you have the balls to stick with it, all right? So how much it's going to test people, I don't know. But I think that there is, like I said yesterday a number of times, I think there's a very clear exit in USO at 125. I like having a nice clear winning out, and that has been a previous resistance level. It is the 50% mark between recent highs of 150 and recent lows of 100. So I think you've got a nice clean winning exit. You could set your losing exit in USO to 105 or 100, depending on your risk tolerance, and you got to wait a couple weeks because, like I said, it's just not going to go right there. They're not going to give you the gimme putt. All right, the market doesn't do that. The market doesn't give you the obvious play without testing you first. All right. But I don't trade USO. I trade SPY exclusively. I try to keep things simple and consistent. All right. 748. We're breaking above it. Do I want to make a play here? I kind of do. It's 7:38 a.m. QQQ is down, which isn't great though. USO is down though. Oil is down, but how long is that going to last? After my speech about oil going higher, do I think we're going to stay lower today? We could. And like I said, today could be the day where we test the people who are long oil, where we test their hand. I think there will be a test sooner or later of people's conviction in holding oil long, but like I said, I think part of the point of the war here is to raise oil prices. So, they will move higher sooner or later. It's just how much are they going to test your nerve first? I will say yesterday I got burned getting long off of a play that looked exactly like this. We moved higher initially. We broke a pre-market level. I got long thinking there was a little momentum higher, and there just wasn't. And yesterday, if you remember yesterday morning, it was all chop all morning. Up, down, up, down, up, down all morning. So I think I should be a little wary here of another opening that looks like that. That's a bad opening. If we're going to just chop around this, what level are we at here? If we're going to just chop around between 745 and 748, might want to be a little wary. Now notice that the market hasn't moved. It hasn't moved since last week. It hasn't moved since, here's the 6-month chart up here. We really haven't moved since, we'll say that back here is when we first got to this level. That was May 14th. So we're looking at almost 2 months of the market at this level between 730 and 760, but mostly in the 740s, okay? Mostly in the 740 range for the last 2 months, and we're still there. I think that tells you something, We're a bit channel bound right now. So if you think we're going to make some big breakout move higher or lower, anything's possible, maybe, but it's always best to assume that whatever pattern has been occurring will continue occurring. And we have been locked in this 740 range, give or take, for the last 2 months. So I think you kind of have to assume that we're going to stay in this 740 range. Now, earnings season is coming up next week. It starts with the banks, and then the week after next week, you get a lot of tech companies. I think that could move the needle. I think it could move the needle either way. Earnings season has generally been bullish for the market. So, I would kind of lean towards it pushing the market higher, but also I've said this a few times. You also look at the 6-month chart. We've got a little bit of a trend forming lower with these lower highs here. Maybe that trend lower continues. Who knows? Honestly, guessing which way the broader market is going to go a month, 2 months, 6 months out, I think is an impossible game. I think we all know that the market generally moves higher over long time periods. That's a given. That's sort of a rule, you know. The market does move higher as the American economy grows. But in terms of medium-term plays, where the market's going to be in weeks or months, I really don't think anybody's capable of accurately predicting that. No, I don't. I really don't. I think it's impossible. You see a lot of guys who get it right for a little bit and then are celebrated as legendary investor who made the call. But then guess what? Then they're wrong for the next 5 years about the market. You know, anybody can get it right once in a while. Everybody does. But to actually have any knowledge of where it's going to go, it's too complex. The market is too complex. There's too many inputs. I mean, we're talking about the global economy. We're talking about billions of investors. To think that with all of those inputs going into one system that you can figure out where it's going to be and what it's going to do, I don't buy it. That's why I day trade, all right? I personally look for patterns that signal to me that one small 2-3 point move is more likely than a 2 or 3 point move in the opposite direction, right? And that's basically based on patterns that I've seen before. Not trying to predict where the market is going to be. I just don't think that that's productive for the most part. All right, now, like I said, I'm wary today right now. I'm wary of this day being a lot like yesterday. Yesterday was an ugly trading day. We did not like the up and down choppy motion to begin the day. I did not like the big V-shaped move that followed it. All of it just felt very, very like gotcha, you know? Felt very algo driven. We're going to screw you out of your money today sort of stuff. So I was not a fan of yesterday. Now, I may get long here. Yeah, I am. I'm going to do it against my better judgment. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do it. Don't. Let's not start the way I did yesterday. Oh, wait, now we're going. Now I'm tempted to do it again. How do I really feel about this play? I gotta really like take an inventory here. Do I really think we can go to 750? Yeah, I do, honestly. I think I do. I think we can jump to 750 here. Is this just wishful thinking? Am I FOMO trading right now? All right, I'm setting my out very close. I'm really looking for some momentum higher. If we don't show any momentum higher here, forget it. Forget it. You know, I'm not going to 58, so we're looking at 68.5. 560, blah, 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 blah. Five 568.75. Yeah, I'm setting my out pretty close here. Losing $17 to pick up a 40 or so. I want to see a little momentum higher. It looks like we might have some momentum higher. Nope, that's it. I'm done with it. That is all I'm losing on any sort of long play right now. Back to flat. Yeah, this pullback is enough to discourage me from trying that again, because I am remembering what happened yesterday. A lot of chop to start the day, and it looks... I don't want to get caught in that shit again. All right? Fuck that. That was nasty. It was ugly. So down $25 because I'm trying to catch a market that I assume is catalyst driven and is going to have some good movement. And you know what? It didn't happen yesterday. It really might not happen again today. You might get a lot of chop. I don't intend to fucking cough up a bunch of money to a trading environment like yesterday. That's going to whipsaw the shit out of people while the algos make a bunch of money. I would suggest you do the same. Wait for something. Wait for something that gives you a clear signal. I thought maybe this move higher. Exact same trade I made yesterday, honestly. We broke pre-market levels. I thought that signaled maybe we're going to have some momentum higher to start the day. Yesterday, it immediately failed. Sort of looks like the same thing is happening again today. And it could turn into choppy bullshit. That is literally the only purpose of that chop is to lift money off of retail traders. So don't get caught. Do not get caught in that crap. Yeah, I'm slowing it down here. I got a bad feeling that today might be like yesterday. A lot of chop to start the day. Meant to hurt people. I don't want to get involved in that. Already down $25. Trying to catch a little breakout here. Let's just wait. Let's just wait until we see a setup that is good. Now, I don't know if any of you played poker. I played poker for a number of years. This was a long time ago, mind you, before I started trading. But days like today are a lot like tables where you have a maniac at them, right? A lot of action, a lot of people trying to catch the maniac, a lot of people playing strange hands. But the fact is, you can't beat a maniac by trying to force a hand against him because they see everything to the very end, right? What you want to do is just wait for a really strong hand and then take it to the end with him because that's what he does. But you need a strong hand to do that, and you got to wait for it. You can't try and force hands against the table that isn't making much sense. So I'm not going to try and force my hand here. All right. All right, now we're moving higher. That's great. Whatever. Definitely getting some FOMO here. FOMO in the up direction, to be perfectly honest with you. FOMO that I might miss a move up to 752 or something here. Yeah, I'm really getting it strong enough to almost put this playback on. No, no. Slow it down. Just slow it down. Look, the fact of the matter is, you have to be okay with missing winning plays, all right? You just do. You're going to have FOMO a lot. That is what the market does to you. It's like custom built to give you FOMO and then take advantage of that FOMO. In fact, I almost mean that quite literally. I do think the algos, to a certain extent, are built specifically to create price action which hits human psychological points and creates chart patterns that create emotions in humans that are FOMO like, that tell humans this is the point to enter, and then it specifically pulls back on those points to take money from them. So when I say the market creates FOMO, I mean it really does. It's really meant to create FOMO and then to punish the people who feel that FOMO. So, you really got to be okay with the idea of, you know what? I'm not going to catch every winner. And I know that sounds obvious, but it's easier said than done, like right now. Like I am very tempted to get long here because I don't want to miss a move if we go to 752, which I think could happen. But the truth is, I don't think it's a great play. I really don't, especially after yesterday. I think it's super likely it might happen, and I really want to get in on it. God, I'm feeling very torn about it. But this would not be a great. This is not an A+ setup. It's really not. God. I am going to get in on it, aren't I? But then we could top at 750. Or 751. Where the fuck would my out be? 750, 751? I don't fucking know. If we had a significant pullback here, like a nice healthy pullback down to like here, that'd be great. I could get long. In fact, I'll put a buy order in. I'll put a buy limit order in. Right here. So look, I'm putting a limit order buy in right here, right? So I'll buy if we sink down to here. Wait, that's too high. I mean, too low. It's got to be here, right? Yeah, right here. Okay. So I put a buy limit order in at 748.5 SPY basically. We're at 749 right now. You know, maybe I'm nitpicking a little bit, but I'll like my risk reward a lot better. You know what? That's a little too. I like it right here. In fact, I really like it. You know what? Do what you really like. I really like it where I put it originally. All right. All right. My buy limit order is at 748.4. Yeah. Okay. So we sink back down to here. My reasoning is I'll buy here. I'll set my out down here, which would be a lower low from our last low. And mathematically, I'll be getting a much better play. And that's sort of my process. I really have a 3-step process when it comes to my trades. Number one, I look for a setup or a feeling about where the stocks are going to go. I use my sort of gut intuition experience to spot the setups. But then in the execution, I have certain rules. I have to make sure the math on the play is okay. You know, I follow certain outs and I have set sizing. So my entry is kind of experience based. My execution is rule based. And then the third leg of all of that is sort of emotional awareness and discipline. Sort of its own thing, but equally important to all of that is how do I feel right now? Am I balanced? Do I need to take a break? Am I on tilt? Do I need to walk away? You know, equally important. But those are sort of the 3 legs of a trade right now that I'm working on, or whatever you want to call it. That's what I think qualifies as a good trade at this point. Does my gut agree with the trade? In which case, it's time to check the math and follow my rules for entry. Does it meet certain qualifications, like a good risk reward? Do I have clear outs? Make sure my size is always the same. That's not very hard. I only trade 1 contract. That's my rule right now. Stick to my rules. And then how am I feeling? Am I feeling okay, or am I doing this out of revenge in some way? I can't rule out that this entry is a bit of a revenge trade. But you know what? If we're going to go to 752, which again, I wouldn't rule out, I kind of want to catch it. So I've set my limit order here to buy at a price that I think gives me a good risk reward. Let's see if it hits it. And if it doesn't hit it, that's okay. You know what? I put my order in at the price that I thought was correct. And if it doesn't get hit, I have to accept that maybe I miss a good trade. It happens. It's not the end of the world. Guess what? Missing a good trade is part of the game. Missing good trades is better than entering bad trades, all right? I'd rather miss 1 good trade than try to catch the same move and have 3 losing trades. I mean, that's all it comes down to. And that's what can happen. You know, things can spiral very quickly in terms of, you know, you keep trying to catch the same play over and over again. Turns into 4 or 5 trades. Next thing you know, you're down way more than you expected for the day. It's very easy for that to happen. So, you know, live with the idea that you might miss a winning trade. Might miss a winning trade. So be it. It is 10 times better than putzing around and trying to catch a trade 15 times and losing on it 14 times and then finally catching it on the 15th time. It's better just to sit it out and wait. Wait for the one actual opportunity, right? I can't stress this enough. But in order to do that, you have to be okay with the idea. First off, you're going to have FOMO. Accept that, but don't give into it. Don't give into the FOMO. And know in your head that, you know what, I may miss a winning trade, and that is okay. It is okay to miss winners. Because when the opportunity presented itself, for whatever reason, I didn't think it was perfect. Now, you know, if it turns out to be perfect, so be it. I didn't have that information, you know, 15 minutes ago, an hour ago, days ago, if you're a swing trader. I didn't have that information. So the trade turned out well. I didn't know it would. I thought it might, but I can't play every single instinct, every single gut feeling I have. I just can't do that. So, you know what? I missed a winner. I accept that. Like right here. Right? I've got this buy limit in. If we sink down to here, I'll get long. Now, if we shoot straight up 2 points from here, I'm not going to be in that play. That's okay. I think setting this buy limit actually helps me because I have a clear level where I've told myself, you know what, I like this level to enter this play. I think I get a good risk reward level at this price point. That sort of helps me psychologically. So if we do shoot higher and I completely miss the play, I can tell myself, hey, you know what? Mathematically, I had set an entry and it didn't get hit. Which is a little more comforting than just saying, I thought I should enter it, but I chose not to. You know? So yeah, I would recommend, honestly, using this technique if you're like uncertain about entering a play, if you're kind of on the fence, if you're not sure if you're chasing it because of FOMO. Set a limit order as an entry, you know, at a good price. Say, you know, if it goes down to this price, that's a good entry. And then wait for it. If it hits it, it hits it. If it doesn't, then you don't have to feel as bad about missing it. Yeah, I actually like that. I think that's a good way to handle FOMO, honestly. Yeah, set your entry, your limit order at a price where you can't get hurt. If you hit it, good. You tried and you got a low risk play. If you don't hit it, you can tell yourself, hey, you know what? I set a low risk play. It didn't work out. In fact, I'm going to add that to my trading notes as something to note for the future. All right, a good way to handle FOMO. I'm putting it in my phone right now, actually. I put my trading notes in my phone and then go back to them later and try to centralize them to some extent. I do my best. I have like my organization of my trading ideas is not beautiful. But anyway, I do put good ideas down in my phone as a note. So I just put this one in my phone. A good way to handle FOMO, set a limit entry order at a great price. If it hits, you get in at low risk. If it doesn't, you don't feel as bad. Okay, now my let's get my stop in right here at the bottom of the other So my stop, all right, I got in, it hit my limit. So my stop is down here. I don't want to see us go as low as the previous low, right? If we've got momentum higher, we shouldn't go to lower lows here. So this is the previous low right here. I set my stop sort of right at it, right below it. I mean, if we, where's the trade invalidated? Right there, all right? That's one tick below the bottom of the other bottom. One tick may be a little, let's give it at least 2 ticks. 3. All right, 3 ticks. 3 ticks below the bottom of the last bottom. If we go 3 ticks below the bottom of the last bottom, each tick in MES is about 2.5 cents in SPY. So 3 ticks below would be like 7 cents in SPY. Just as a quick note. But the important fact is, if we go below the last bottom, I'm out of this trade, which is looking very likely. Yeah, that would invalidate the trade to me. Where did we end up touching? 49.23. I have to say that this top right here doesn't look very significant to me. Now I'm like cheerleading for my own play. But I will say this top looks unusual. There's nothing here, 49.23. There's nothing here that would signal this is like a clean top. I mean, this level right here is 749. So maybe you can say we touched 749. Yeah, all right. All right, you can say we touched 749 and that was the top. But I have to say, as levels go recently, 749 has not been one of the more significant ones. 748 has been a more important level. Well, it doesn't seem to matter because it looks like I'm going to lose this trade. We're approaching the bottom of the last bottom. That's that. Okay. Whatever. All right. This is following the exact same pattern as yesterday. It really is. What we saw yesterday, a move higher, we broke out of a level, then we collapsed lower. We went lower down to the daily low. I'm down like the exact same amount I was yesterday. Then we bounced off the daily low, we chopped around, and then we finally broke lower in the mid-morning, traveled lower all mid-morning. From like 10:30 onward, we traveled lower. And then all afternoon, after 1 o'clock, we went higher all the way back to the top of the day and even further. This is all shaping up the same way as yesterday. Very trappy bullshit. So I'm really not liking what I'm seeing again. Yeah, I don't like what I see here. This is very reminiscent of yesterday. And yesterday was a lot of algo trappy bullshit. And what do you even say about yesterday? I mean, we literally finished yesterday, I think, basically where we opened. Where did we open yesterday? Yeah, we opened at like 744 or 743 yesterday. We finished at 745. We finished, honestly, a point or two higher than where we opened. We finished a couple of points lower than where we closed the day before on Tuesday. So we finished sort of right in the middle of where we opened yesterday and where we had closed the day before that. And in the meantime, it was just a lot of whipsaw, choppy crap yesterday. I mean, and we're seeing the same shit here again today. I mean, this is yesterday. I mean, this was the morning yesterday right here. Choppy crap. You know, here's the break higher. I got pulled back. You know, here's the morning break higher, which is like the pattern we're seeing right now. Morning break higher, and then we pulled back all the way back to the daily low. Then we shot back higher again, back to the daily high. I mean, if you tried to trade this in here yesterday morning, I'm sorry, you know, rest in peace, honestly. This was not good trading stuff. Now, when we broke lower, below the daily low, I mean, that was probably the opportunity to make a play. I missed it. I think I literally turned off the stream and stopped trading right here because I remember glancing at it 5 minutes later and thinking, oh, we're finally breaking lower. But by that point, I was already off doing other things. I wasn't going to play it. I was busy. You could have gotten short here yesterday and ridden it downward. But even that, you would have gone downward. You would have been up a bunch down here. And then you would have had to been tested all the way back to your entry, probably above your entry a little bit here, before you get the real leg lower. It would have been a tough trade. Would have been a tough trade. Would have been a real tough trade. And then who the hell caught this? Did anybody catch this afternoon move higher? I'm sorry. You had to be really, really innately bullish if you caught this move higher here. You had to just feel in your gut that we were going higher yesterday. And I'm not a huge fan of predictions like that. If you did feel that way and you caught it, good for you. Like I said, that's not my style. I try and, unless there's some clear reason to be bullish or bearish, and I don't think that this Iran stuff on a day-to-day basis gives us a clear reason to be bullish or bearish. I don't have an opinion on whether we're bullish or bearish other than what the chart shows me. Like I got long earlier because the chart looked like it was making higher lows, higher highs. It looked like we might be trending higher. Now that's been proven incorrect. And what I see is a pattern very similar to yesterday, which is Trappy Algo bullshit. And I don't want to mess with it. I've already lost $60 on it. Lost $60 on it yesterday. I don't want to give money away in a trading environment that is hostile. Honestly, all of this right here, unplayable in the range, right? So we haven't even broken below the daily low yet. The daily low is 745.7. So we didn't even break below that. So I'm in no hurry here. If you wanted to get short, honestly, the time to get short was when my trade got invalidated up here. That would have been it. But guess what? I tried that exact play yesterday and lost that one too. So I think that would have been the time to do it, when this up move got invalidated. If you wanted to try and catch it down to the daily low, I actually think that might not have been a bad play. But again, I've got hindsight bias because it played out exactly that way. So I'm probably just speaking out of my ass there. I didn't take the play. I didn't want the play. I tried a similar play yesterday. Made the exact same trade yesterday. We broke out higher. When my trade got invalidated by a lower low. Oh, yeah, here was the lower low. When my trade got invalidated by a lower low, I got short and immediately lost that trade. So I wasn't going to try it again today, although it would have worked. I mean, how many points did we? Only 1 point. This candle right here is 1 point. But I take 1 point plays. I take 1 point plays. Certainly not adverse to a 1 point play. 50 cents, I don't like, but 1 point I'll take. Oh, wait, I'm flat here. Sorry, I do this manually. I change my position right here. I change my position thing manually. I mean, you'll know if I have a play on, it'll be here. You know, it'll be listed here. My profit and loss will be moving. If I forget to change my position, I have to talk to ChatGPT, have it write a script for me to automatically change the position without me having to do it. All right, now, anyway, do we want to get short if we break below this level? First off, it's not really a level. I mean, 745.7, 746. All right, you call it 746. I'm just so wary of algo fucking bullshit after yesterday. I really am. There was so much algo choppy bullshit yesterday. And so far, every sign is saying more algo choppy bullshit incoming. But then again, yesterday we did have a pretty big mid-morning down move, you know? What's our put-call ratio on SPY? Let's see. Are people bearish or bullish today? That's what I use as sort of my best indicator of how people are feeling. Bearish. People are bearish today. Put-call ratio is 0.9. No, wait, that's bullish. Yeah, that's bullish. Bullish. People are bullish through a day, according to the put-call ratio. Not a... No, moderately so. 0.9 is... Okay. All right. Do I want to fucking short this? God damn it. Well, we haven't even broken below the low. The daily low here. So I certainly don't want to do it yet, but we're definitely about to break below the daily low. And 745 is an out. I mean, do I really? I don't see where my winning out is here. 640, 745. 740 like yesterday. No, I don't. No, I don't want this right here. Not yet. Plus, this is the red-green line. SPY is up 50 cents right now. Let's let SPY turn negative, all right? So if SPY flips negative, which is only 40 cents away, I'd be a lot more interested in it. The red-green line, that is where SPY either flips from green to the day for red for the day, or red for the day to green for the day. That's the red-green line. It's where SPY is flat. It's where we closed yesterday, all right? And it looks like it's 745.5 or so. I want to make sure we can break through that, all right? Make sure that, because right now we're green in SPY. We've been green all day. Can we move into the red? Now, QQQ is down 4 points. That's 0.5%. Big down moves in the Magnificent Seven. The Mag 7 is leading the way lower today. That's fucking weird. Meta, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, even Apple. Wow. You've got Tesla in there. I mean, we're talking literally, the Mag 7 are the big losers today, driving the market lower. That's interesting. Almost to a T. Very weird. Text my friends about that. Yeah, so the Magnificent Seven, when I look at my watch list, which probably has 50 or 60 symbols on it, and I look at the biggest losers for the day, the first ones to pop up are Meta, Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, Apple. Those are the big losers today. I mean, are you crazy? So the Mag 7 is literally leading the way lower today. First thought, that's fucking bad, right? That's pretty bearish. The Mag 7 are all down about 2% today. Let's see. Yeah. All right around 2%. Meta minus 1.8, Google minus 2.6, Microsoft minus 1.9, Nvidia minus 2.2, Amazon minus 1.2, Apple minus 0.5. Apple is the most defensive of them, so that would make sense. What the fuck? Am I crazy? Did QQQ just jump from 4 points down to 6 points up? Is that what just happened? No, that's not. What the fuck was I looking at? What the hell? All right, hold on. I'm confused for a second here. I could have sworn I just looked at QQQ and it was down 4 points. And now I'm looking at QQQ and it says it's up 6 points. That's not possible. Okay, I'm going to chalk that up either to me seeing something wrong or the software glitched in some way. Anyway, the big seven are still, the Magnificent Seven are still the big losers today. I hope that's right. Holy shit. Why the fuck did QQQ suddenly go from... All right, not going to dwell on it. A little glitch in the matrix there. I don't know. All right, whatever. I thought QQQ was down for the day. It's up. QQQ is up 1%. What the fuck? Hold on. Let me check my phone here. Check a different app. All right. SPY up 1.5 points. QQQ up 6 points. All right. So QQQ is up almost 1%. Percent change. Google down 2.5. Nvidia down 2.2. Microsoft down 1.8. Meta down 1.3. Amazon down 1.2. NVIDIA down 4.43. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm not losing my mind. All right. So, yeah. QQQ is up 1%. The Mag 7 is lower. Mag 7 getting crushed. I think that's bearish. I mean, all of the Mag 7 being down. I mean, I don't think there's any way to say that that's a bullish fucking sign, especially with earnings coming up in a couple of weeks for most of them. It's actually a really negative sign in my opinion. Even more so because QQQ is up 1% today. Like, how do you have QQQ up 1% today, yet the Mag 7, all of them are down 2% with earnings incoming? That's very odd. Very odd. And I think a pretty bad sign. Oh, shit. The plumber's calling me. All right, here we go. Sorry, hold on. Hello? All right, so I will say it's very odd to have QQQ up 1% and the Mag 7, all of them down 2%. Very weird. Very weird. I don't know what to make of that. Seems bearish to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's bull. Maybe they'll start climbing. I don't fucking know, but that's odd. Seems bearish. I've got the plumber downstairs. Again, I'm having a household plumbing crisis. I'd want to see us drop below here, below the daily low, which has now shown resistance twice before I enter any trade. So let me go see the plumber while I can. Got the plumber here. All right, I got the plumber here. I'm very interested if we're going to move lower here or not now. Seeing the Mag 7 down like that makes me interested in it. In the meantime, I don't want any plays in this range. Anything in the daily high to the daily low, I'm not interested in right now. Maybe later I'll change my mind, but anything in here, choppy bullshit. I want a breakout one way or another. All right, plumber's here, guys. So it's gonna be loud. All right, plumber's here. He's sawing. He is sawing the ceiling to access some pipes above the ceiling. He's just getting right in there. I gotta say, no mask, no nothing. Just sawing that ceiling. He's got some balls. Because I'll tell you, man, me personally, I'd be real worried about asbestos. I don't like to fuck around with, I don't know, bathroom plumbing in the ceiling. Oh, God, shit's falling right now. Oh, God. I have children, by the way, also, so, I don't know if you know anything about asbestos, but that's not the way you want to go. No. Asbestos exposure that's a bad way to go. Mesothelioma, not pretty. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about mesothelioma. This market, again, I'm not interested in anything in this range, which is basically 746 up to 749. Anything in this range right now, I'm considering noise. That's our daily high and our daily low. Like, I consider this noise in here. Now, if a channel starts to form within this range and then we break out of that channel, that's different. You know, maybe an important level starts to form within this range. But right now, anything within this range, as far as I'm concerned, should be considered noise and not tradable. You're seeing USO down to 110 again. I do think that's by far the best play, getting long oil for the whole Iran thing with a 125 exit, but it's not going to happen right away. You got to give it a couple of weeks. Got to give it a couple of weeks. You do. Market is not going to make that oil play easy. Yeah, the market is not going to make the oil play easy. It's going to test your nerves on it because it's somewhat obvious. Market is going to want to make sure you've got the balls to stick with it. So, yeah, he's really sawing it. Like I said, no mask. He's just getting right in there, sawing that shit. If it's asbestos, fuck it, I guess, right? Christ. Oh my God. Just want to keep my children away from it. Well, this is awful. All right. Gonna take a little break, I guess. Like I said, anything in this 746 to 749 range, not playable right now. Noise. Anything in here is noise. You're gonna need a breakout one way or another to give you a sense of direction. It is 10:40 a.m. coming up on 11. 11 is a good time to catch a change in mood if we're gonna have it. So let's see what happens in the next 20 minutes. And certainly at 11, I mean, if we were to break lower at 11 a.m., I think that'd be a pretty bearish sign, especially since we'd be breaking lower at 746. We'd probably have some room to go lower. And we'd be crossing the red-green line and SPY. How's the Mag 7 doing? They're still down, not quite as much as before, though. Instead of like 2% down, the Mag 7 looks like they're more like 1.5% down now. So let's see who leads who. Is the market going to kind of drag the Mag 7 higher, or are the Mag 7 going to drag the market lower? Let's see. Looks like the plumber has stopped sawing for now. All right. No chance in hell I go down there, though. Not breathing that shit in. Home ownership. I don't know. I'm assuming some of you deal with that. Never ends. It really doesn't. There's always something. Always something. Anyway, we're at 748. SPY up 2.5 points. QQQ up 7 points. Mag 7 down basically 2%. Very odd dichotomy there. Bitcoin at 63,000. That's sort of where we've been hanging out the last couple days. Oil down to 110. USO is down to 110. Again, that would be my Iran play, but getting long oil is obvious at this point. Like I said, they're going to try and test your hand. They're going to try and see if you got the stomach to hold it at some point. I think that test will come sooner rather than later. Today might be it. But I do think USO moving higher is by far the safest bet on renewed Iran hostilities. It is the stock USO most directly impacted by hostilities in Iran. Just is. So if you want to make a direct play on the war, that's the one. It's got that beautiful out at 125. Man, do I like that out. 10:45 a.m. What would I like to see here? Boy, a break higher would be really hard to play, wouldn't it? If we break above today's high, which is 749, basically. I mean, how do you play that? Boy, that'd be tough to play. I mean, shit. Break above 749. I mean, what's your out? 750? That's not a whole lot. I don't see how you get a good risk reward if you're out at 750. I mean, you have to make it 752, 751. Are we 752? I mean, is there really a chance we jump to 752 today? Yeah, it's possible. Would that make any sense? I don't see it. I mean, to me, looking at this chart, let's just open the SPY chart directly. Look at this volume profile, just all over the place. Unusual. No center of gravity whatsoever, right? This is just like, it's just freewheeling right now. We're not, usually, by this time of day, 11 a.m., the market has sort of found some sort of center or resistance level that it's focused on. This volume profile, this shows where you're getting the volume today, all the different price levels. There's just no indication of where this market wants to hang out, right? None. This is complete neutral. We're just moving, and we've got no center of gravity. That's probably a good thing for traders. Center of gravity is not great. And I just, oh, they're calling me. Come in. All right. Plumber's still working. Just to give you an idea, my kitchen ceiling collapsed 4 days ago. The bathroom, the upstairs bathroom, was slowly leaking down onto the kitchen ceiling, and I knew it was bad, but then we had a plumber come, and because there was a clog, they tried to unclog it, and next thing you know, it was like coming down in buckets, and it was only a matter of time before the kitchen ceiling collapsed. I thought I could get through the weekend. It was a holiday weekend this weekend. Thought I could get through the weekend. Didn't make it. So I think it was Saturday, whatever it was. Saturday night. Yeah, it finally came down. So yeah, now we've got a 3 by 3 foot hole in the kitchen ceiling. It's going to be a major repair. Major. Because it looks like the shower upstairs is leaking. Yeah, the shower leaking. That'll mean that we have to redo the shower and the kitchen ceiling, both of them. I mean, we're talking about not major renovations, but 2 moderate-sized renovations if you're redoing a ceiling in one room and a shower in another room. I mean, it's not exactly adding an extension to your home, but it's not going to be fun either. Anyway. All right. This market, not friendly right now. All right. It's 10:55 a.m. Maybe at 11 a.m. we get a better idea of what we're looking at. I don't see anything here right now. The only interesting thing I see is the Mag 7 leading the way lower here. All of the Mag 7 are down about 1.5% right now, on average. And I would say that is very odd to have QQQ up 1% and the Mag 7 down 1.5%. Now, as you can see, though, I will say what is higher right now are banks, Goldman Sachs, JPM, right? And that makes sense because banks will be reporting next week. And odds are it's going to be a good quarter for banks. With the war and the volatility in markets, they're gonna do all right next week. So we can sort of count on the banks reporting some winning earnings next week. It's really the next 2 weeks after that. Let's say the week of July 20th and July 27th. Those are going to be the big ones. That's where tech and the big boys report. Those are going to be the ones that really decide where the market goes. So I think next week we're going to start off with some optimism when the banks report. But the market's going to be bright enough to know that it's really the next couple weeks after that that matter. Okay. Got this volume profile here that is all over the place. Again, no center of gravity. Bitcoin, oil. I mean, oil's moving lower. Again, yeah, I think it'll test your hand. If you're long oil, it's going to test you at some point. It's just what it's going to do. It has to. You can't just let people win by getting long. You got to make your out in USO at like 105 or 100. I think 105 would probably be a good testing point where it stops. Now we're moving higher. This is going to be much trickier to play than lower. I mean, we'd have to break below above 749. Which we didn't. This little candle here was 748.95. So basically, this little candle was 749. Shit. Okay, I wasn't really expecting this. I will say I feel more or less obligated to get long. If we break higher here, I will get long. It's just too clear of a top here, right? This is a top. If we break above it, that's a very clear level break, all right? It becomes almost obligatory for me and my trading style to get long if we break above this. 752 will be my out. And I'm going to prepare myself for a sort of grinding trade higher. I can hope it'll be momentum driven, but I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a grind higher. But like I said, with my trading style, getting long if we break higher here is almost mandatory. I mean, these are the exact kind of like chart setups that I wait for. So even though I can't particularly make sense of a move higher here today, I'm not going to argue with the chart. It's best not to argue with the chart. Whatever your ideas are, your predictions are, don't fight the market, obviously. These are old axioms and they're retold for a reason, all right? They make sense. They tend to be true. Don't fight the market, right? So, yes, obviously, I'm leaning personally more bearish than bullish here today, but if the chart breaks higher, I'm not going to argue with it because it would be a pretty clean and clear break higher. We got a clear level here. Breaking above it would just be a signal to get long. Downstairs in the kitchen. Out with the baby, thank God. Why? I don't want the baby around while this dude is tearing apart our ceiling. When's he gonna be? He's gonna be here. Jesus Christ. All right. This is my life. Again, I genuinely believe that I would be a multi-millionaire if I was 23 and single and could just actually sit down and focus on markets from 9:30 to 4 p.m. But that's not going to happen. Yeah. I've got kids. I've got bunch of other responsibilities. I've got a kitchen ceiling that just caved in. Yeah, got to work within my limitations, which are numerous. All right, now, if we get a nice green candle higher right here, I'm going to get long. Again, my out is going to be 752, maybe 751. I mean, 752 should be the real out. I mean, the move might stall at 750. It's not going to be a fun trade, I have to say that. I don't think if we break above, if we start breaking out here, I don't think it's going to be a fast, easily digested move. I think it's going to be a grinding move higher with pullbacks that test you. It's going to be the exact kind of play that I'm really not a huge fan of. It's going to be stairs up, right? Up moves are always just a little bit more difficult to play than down moves. Down moves tend to have momentum. They tend to move quickly. And this is over any time horizon, honestly. Doesn't matter if you're a day trader, a scalper. Well, maybe not a scalper, but it doesn't matter if you're a day trader, a swing trader, longer term trader, whatever. Down moves tend to move fast. Up moves tend to move slow. There are, of course, exceptions like everything else in the stock market, but stairs up, elevator down. So honestly, if you're an active trader, you probably prefer down moves. I do. But you also have to be careful between the difference between wishful thinking and what actually makes sense, what you're actually seeing. A lot of the time, because those down moves are momentum driven, active traders can start hunting for a bearish sort of collapse because they want it to happen because it would be an easy trade. But all right, we're getting in. Not quite yet, but soon. Is that the candle I'm looking for? Close, close. Not quite yet. I kind of want to break this high from over here, and we haven't quite done that. So I want to see just a couple more ticks higher. Okay, that's good. Okay, that broke above the level there. It's got a nice clean candle, which I like. So we're in long here. Again, I'm not going to say, honestly, I'd be more bearish than bullish here personally. This day felt more bearish generally until now. But I'm just not going to argue with the chart. And this is like a sort of kind of a textbook setup for my trading style. I also, so we're breaking above 749. My target is going to be 752. I think my downside exit is going to be 748 to start the trade. Let's see. Yeah, 748 is going to be where I start my exit at today. I want to give it a little room to breathe because, again, like I said, this is not a momentum trade to me. This is a grinding higher sort of trade. So I'm going to give this one room to breathe initially. Setting my out down at 747.9, more or less. So we're risking $74 on it. And we're going to try to get to 752. That's going to be our out. Now, where is that? I always got to do the conversion from SPY to MES because I trade MES. That's my instrument. The underlying is SPY. So we're going to be about 25 points above here. Two and 4, 24 points above here. 68, 88, 88, 92.75, 92.75. Okay, so this is the trade setup for me here. I've gotten long when we broke above 749 on SPY. My winning target is a shade below 752. Again, I like to be the first guy out. I don't want to wait. Anyway, I set my outs a shade above or below. Anyway, so this is going to be a shade below 752. So it's, 751.8 about. That's a $126 win. My losing out is a hair below 748. So really 747.9 or so. And that's a loss of $74. So we're getting 74 to 126. Right in that wheelhouse of 1.5 to 1 for me. That's generally my risk reward trade profile. Now, the problem with this trade, as I've said before, I think it's going to be a grinding move higher, especially to get to 752. I'm very, very concerned about 751. What's going to happen there? And how much I need to worry about it. 751 has not shown any significance previously. Up here is my 5-day or 10-day chart, my short range sort of medium term chart for my purposes. And I look at it and I don't see any action around 751 previously. Maybe a little here, but not really. So 751 doesn't look like it's significant. 752 is previous highs last week. So that has significance. 750 obviously is a level. It just is. Any round number, any 10, 730, 740, 750, 760, 770 is significant. So yeah, we're worried about 750. I guess maybe a little less worried about 751. Although honestly, in my mind, for whatever reason, I think if we start moving higher, 751 is going to present more of a problem than 750. Personally, that's just my gut feeling on the matter. And like I said, this is not a momentum play, unfortunately. I like momentum trades. I do. This is kind of a grinder, a grinding move higher. Yeah, which I don't like. I'm not a fan of trades like that, but this setup is very clean to me. This is a very clean sort of break higher. So it sort of fits. It just fits a trade setup that I've seen before a lot, Sort of the morning action, you get a clear top, and then, or you get a clear bottom. If we had broken lower here, it would have been the same sort of setup. You get some range bound action in the morning, clear top, clear bottom, and then you break one of them. Usually you will run in that direction at least a couple points. Not always, like everything else in markets, not always, you know, I just think the probability of moving higher after this break here is better than the probability of moving lower. I do like that the move happened at 11, right? I think I mentioned that earlier. I think I said I wanted it to break lower at 11. Well, it turns out that we broke higher at 11. I do sort of like moves that begin at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. moves tend to have, I don't know, shit happens at 11 a.m. for whatever reason. Same as 1 p.m. They're turning points in the day, all right? Those are turning points, those specific times for whatever reason. So I'm happy that this breakout higher happened at 11. That gives me a little more faith in it. But overall, I do think this is going to be a slow, painful trade. I hope I'm wrong about that. I think particularly when we hit 751, we may stall, and I may have to make some tough decisions about whether I want to stick around. Anyway, we're in, we're long. Winning exit 752, losing exit 748. Be right back. Got to take pictures of my kitchen ceiling being sawed open. Oh, yeah? What's that? Where's the phone? What's for? All right, all right. 11:30 a.m. Plumber is now gone. Going to need a full, full Monty apparently. Full shower redo. Full kitchen ceiling redo. Yeah, the whole shebang. Great. That's going to take God knows how long. So, yeah, all right. We're trading. And once that work gets started, my trading is going to be equally as interrupted as it is right now. Very, very happy about that. Motherfucker. All right. So, this top right here, we just hit 750. Obviously, like I said, 750 is an obvious resistance level. What do I want to do about it? Nothing. I'm hoping, like I said, I think 751 will probably be a bigger problem than 750. That's just what my gut says. Could absolutely be wrong about that. Is it possible that 750 is a top here? Yes, absolutely. But on the other hand, as I said, I didn't think this was going to be an easy, quick move higher. Resistance here at 750 was to be expected. A pullback even down to this level would not surprise me here. It would not surprise me, which is why I hate these slow grinding trades higher. And there's nothing I can do about it except just keep my out where it is for now. If we break above 750 and we hit 751, I will move my losing out higher. But I'm not ready to do that yet. I want to keep my losing out where it is because I want to hold through a pullback and try and get to 752. That's my take on it. And my kid is calling me. Okay. So that's where we stand. I would hold the losing exit where it's at. Keep your winning exit where it is. If we get to 751, then we can move the losing exit up and sort of turn it into a free roll. Oh, God. Christ. Sorry, guys, for the, like, 1 or 2 people that actually watch this. Maybe the handful of people that see the videos. Maybe I'll actually try and edit the parts where I have to deal with the plumbers and children and wife and mother and all that crap out. So what do we got going on? We've got a position that's moving in our favor, slightly above 750 right now. It's good. It looks like it's kind of breaking the 750 level, perhaps. Am I ready to move my invalidation exit higher? I kind of am at this point, to tell you the truth. Now, this is something that I do. If you've seen me stream at all before, you'll probably know this already, but I generally, my winning exits, I set at the time of the trade. I don't like to touch them, although, you know, I do move them, you know, more than I like. But generally, once I set a winning exit, my policy is keep the winning exit where you set it. 752, that's my out. But my losing exit, I do tend to creep higher if the position is moving with me to reduce my risk as the position moves in my favor. So now your losing exit should be what I call an invalidation point. It should be the point where if the price sinks below it, your trade thesis has been invalidated, okay? That's what your losing exit should always be. It should be the invalidation exit, all right? I call it the losing exit, but really it's the invalidation point. It is the point, if the price touches it, your thesis is basically dead, all right? That is what your losing exit should be. So now that we've creeped higher, I do think the invalidation point of this trade, where it has lost whatever mojo it has moving higher, has moved higher. So it was originally at 748. I think, I'm like trying to eyeball it here. Where do I think? I think if we were to sink back below this area right here, that would be a very sort of clear sign that this momentum higher is probably dead. And I use that term momentum loosely, because this is, I'm not counting on this to be a momentum trade, but whatever, like I said, whatever mojo we have moving higher, I think if we move below this level, it's dead. All right. So I'm going to move my invalidation exit up to the bottom of that area. So right up here. So this is my new invalidation exit right here. If we sink below this, I think the trade is dead. Let me see what that corresponds to in SPY. It corresponds to 748.38, so basically nothing. I'll move it just a tick lower. Couple ticks lower, not that many ticks lower. Yeah, does that look right to you? Does that look right to you? Does that look like if we go below this, my trade is dead? Yeah, it does. In fact, it might even be a little higher than here, honestly. I really think it's like closer to here, 758.25. So let's just say 757.5. All right, so we even $50. All right, so that's what I'm risking now. Before it was, what, 72? So I've taken $20 of risk off the table as we've moved higher. Again, I think this is a grinding sort of move higher, so I don't really want to move my invalidation level up too much, because I don't think a pullback here would be super surprising. Although, you know, there is sort of a clear level right here. This is like where we started the trade, 749. I really think that that's... Boy, I really think that that is really the invalidation level. I mean, I could really reduce my risk to almost nothing if I move it up to here at 749. Tough call. Tough call. Obviously, you're trading off, you know, you're reducing your risk. I'd be reducing my risk from $50 down to something below 20. That's not bad. I'm taking over $30 of risk off the table. The downside is the off chance that we have a dip that somehow goes below my new invalidation level that I'm thinking about setting and somehow ends in this range from here to here. From my current invalidation level to the one I'm pondering. That would be bad, obviously. If I move my losing exit up to here and somehow we move downward and bottom out in this range and then head back up and hit the winning exit. I think the odds of that are extremely low. Is it worth the $30? Is it worth taking $30 of risk off the table? I'll tell you, if we hit 751, I am definitely going to move my invalidation level up to here. Definitely. It's just, do I want to do it now? I mean, do I really think that does this invalidate the trade if we move below it? Yeah, I really think it does, quite honestly, at this point. If we move below 749, I mean, haven't we invalidated whatever this is now? Let's just stick with the original plan for now, okay? If we hit 751, I'm going to move my invalidation level up to here. But until then, let's stick with the current exit. Hopefully we go straight to 751 and this becomes a non-issue. If we sink back down to here, then it's going to be tough call. Where do I think that this trade is invalidated now? I think crossing below 749 probably invalidates it. It's almost certainly a terrible, terrible sign if we cross below 749. But I'm trying to win $126 up here. I mean, is it worth taking $30 of risk off the table? I don't think so. Not yet. Not yet. I want to see us move a little higher before I move the invalidation up to 749. Or, what is this? Yeah, 749. Yeah. Let's just move a little higher before that. Until then, I'm keeping my exit where it's at, which is 748.3. All right. That's my opinion on it for now. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like this out is just out in no man's land. Like it's like a hanger. It's like a compromise out, you know? It's not like fully committed to the trade, but it's not fully committed to the invalidation level also. Like I should pick one. I mean, decide. Do you want to lower your risk and move your invalidation level higher? I think I do. I think I do want to lower my risk and move the invalidation level higher, especially considering the type of day it's been. Or, you know, better option also, you know, keep it where it was originally at, down here, and really make the market prove that you're wrong. Instead, I feel like I'm like compromising here. And a compromise doesn't make much sense because a compromise isn't an actual invalidation level. It's an emotion driven out. I don't want an emotion driven out. I want an out that makes sense. 749 is an out that makes sense. A very clear out that makes sense. I like that as an out. Yes, that makes the most sense right now. Or 748, a whole point lower. That also makes sense. I don't like in between here. It's either 749 or 748. Which one do you want? 748 was the original. You can stick to it. Or, since we've made some progress higher, do you move it up to 749 and say, hey, this is my new out now? All right. So I have moved my invalidation level up to about 10 or 15 cents below 749. Yeah, that's what I'm going with. Maybe I should stick with the original exit of 748, but then I'm risking $70 instead of $20 on the play. Right now, with this new invalidation level, I've got a risk of $24 versus a win of $126. That's 5-1. That's a nice risk reward for a play that is almost equidistance from each exit. That's the advantage of having a move that goes with you immediately. Big advantage. Big advantage. Really helps. Having a move that goes in your direction quickly, God, it makes things easier. Just makes you so much more flexible on the play. It's like being able to bet on a horse race halfway through it, you know? Big advantage. All right, that's where we're at. Invalidation level, a little below 749. Winning exit 752. It is now almost noon. Yeah, it's noon on the dot. Entering our lunchtime doldrums. Lunchtime was actually fairly active yesterday. I believe there was some movement during lunch yesterday, so let's hope there's some movement today. I hate just waiting an hour while we channel. All right. I got all sorts of shit to clean up from the plumber. He made a mess. That's where we're at. 749 loser, 752 winner. All right, up to 750.4. Not even really close to 751 yet. Uh, 85.25. 95.25. 95.25. Minus 2. 93.25. 92.75. Okay. Yeah, I like my winning out. I like my winning out. I do. I do. If you're following my trades, you really don't need me too much here for this one anyway, while I clean up the plumbing mess that my plumber says isn't asbestos. I'm not fully convinced, but sure as hell hope it's not. Don't be asbestos. Okay. Yeah. This is not a trade I need to babysit, honestly. It's a slow mover, in my opinion. I've got the 749 loser out, the 752 winning out. If we get up to here now, like tapping on the out, I mean, that's kind of when I want to really start thinking about moving the invalidation exit into free roll territory. Okay, we can clearly move this one just a few ticks higher. I mean, not much. What's even the point? But another $2 higher. This is where somehow those 3 ticks is exactly where it bottoms and then shoots right up. Yeah, let's not do that to myself. That would be so horrific. I'd jump out of a window. Okay. Yeah. All right. Not a trade I need to babysit. Let's see what happens. If we make a nice leg higher, I'm going to move this invalidation out higher. Other than that, it's going to have to come down and prove me wrong here. All right, just periodically checking in on this one. 750.66. Now, as I said earlier, 751 is going to scare me a lot more than 750 for some reason here. Like I said, that's just my gut feeling. If I had two contracts, which I don't, I only have one. That's been my decision. If you look at some of my earlier trades, I had sort of vacillated between trading one and two contracts. But I've decided lately that sticking to one size, period, end of story, is the best move. Highest EV play, best for me psychologically. Deciding when and where to scale up, which ones deserve to, at which point in the trade I should go to two, when I should reduce. It made the execution process, I'd say, at least twice as complicated. Just having, not even having variable size. We're talking about, I was only trading one contract or two contracts. That's it. Just having that second option, just having two options in size, only two, made the entire trading process twice as complicated. So I've gone to just having one size for every trade. Honestly, I think it's just been way better for me personally. Way better for me personally. The market is very impersonal, you know. It's I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that. I'm just trying to say, in other sports, you know, maybe you can get on a hot streak and there's a reason to scale up. With the market, I'm not so sure that hot streaks happen. And if you don't have streaks where you're hot and you're cold, there's no reason to scale up or scale down. Now, mind you, you might have streaks where mentally you're discouraged, and maybe you should scale down then, and or where mentally you're feeling really good and trading well, maybe you should scale up then. But I don't know. I don't think putting yourself through that decision-making process is worth it. Not at this point. Maybe I'll change my mind later. But if I did have two contracts here, I would exit one of them if and when we touch 751 SPY. I would take half my profit off the table at 751, move my losing invalidation exit up much closer, and sort of work off the premise that I want to reach for 752, but I'm aware that 751 presents a very real threat to my trade. Oof. Which is really making me think that I should just exit at 751, because as a rule, one of my rules is don't get greedy. Don't get greedy. Singles and doubles, or in this case, just take the single instead of the double, right? Just stop at first base. You've got your single. Keep it. Don't try and stretch it into a double. What I'm actually going to do, which is probably the worst choice of all, God, that would be so weak. So the absolute weak sauce choice, which I'm now considering, is we get to 751 and I move my invalidation exit up basically all the way to here, up to 750.51. In other words, I don't get out right away. I give us a chance to get to 752. But I move my invalidation exit up so much that it's going to be a winner no matter what. More or less, I'm saying it's more or less giving up on the trade is what it is. It's a puss move. Because what will happen is we'll almost certainly hit 751. I think it will be a resistance level. And then we'll pull back down to here, this level. And then we'll go higher. So if I move my losing exit all the way up to here, I'm more or less exiting the trade with a very small chance of us just having some sort of momentum run higher. No, that's a pussy play. I can't do that. It's very hard to justify that. I have to make a decision right now. Am I taking my out at 751 or am I going for 752? I have to say that my gut tells me I should take the 751 exit. Let me see what it looks like. $85.50. Yeah, about right. I'm going from $126 profit to 89. Yeah. Taking $36 off the table. I think it's very, very likely we get to 752 here, but I am going to take the 751 out. Maybe it's just because I'm a pussy. Maybe there's no other excuse other than that. Maybe there is no excuse other than that. But I'm scared of this 751 out. I am. All right, let's see if we break right through it at least. I'm going to do the worst move of all, which is the old, when we hit 751, I'm going to move my losing exit all the way up to it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a chance to blast through 751 at least. And basically, once we break above 751, if we break above 751, I am going to turn it into a tight trailing stop. Oh, God, what a weak sauce play. No, it's not. It's a prudent risk management play at a point that may very well represent strong resistance to my... That almost certainly will present strong resistance to my play. Ugh. It's just the sloppiest exit of them all, isn't it? Isn't it? just take the 751 exit. At least take the profit you can take from it. 784.50. Yeah, I mean, at least take the profit you can from it, rather than, I mean, we're talking, I can grab $85 right off the bat, or I can set my exit to 60. I don't want to make it too complicated here. What I'm trying to say is, do I want to just grab it when we tap 751, which looks very likely right now? Or do I not want to grab the 751 tap and have a trailing stop behind it? You know what? I mean, if I set it right here, what is it? $73 if I set my out right there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I've got it set for 751 right now. If we go right through it, I'll probably buy back in and try to go to 752 with a trailing stop. That would be such a sloppy play. Why am I even considering it? Why am I even considering it? I will say I'm acting right now like a 751 tap is like guaranteed. It's not. We're not there yet. I'm like putzing around with my losing out as if it doesn't even matter anymore. I have made $74 on this trade so far, so. Yeah, I do think a 751 tap is more or less guaranteed here, but we haven't done it yet, which is slightly concerning. What are we doing? All right. I'm not allowing this trade to turn into a loser, though. Not when we got up to 750.81. No, this trade is not going to end up being a loser. I'll tell you that much. Where do I want to set my new invalidation level to? I got to be somewhat serious about it now. All right, 749.5. Sounds about right. So that's right here. All right. That's my new losing out. All the way down here. Shit. My feeling, though, is that when you have these odd number, these odd integer exits like 751 instead of, say, 752 or 750, usually the odd integer exits, for whatever reason, they are tapped exactly, in my experience. If they're going to be the out, they are the out on the nose. Don't ask me why. Whereas with the even integer ones, after you've made a 2-point move or so, you don't always have to touch it exactly for it to be the out. You can go to 7. You know, if 752 is your exit, you might only go to 751.8. You know, you'll get close to it, and that'll sort of count as the out. Whereas with the odd integer exits, you usually do tap it on the nose, 751.1 or 751.00, 750.99. I mean, you get like exactly on it. So why are we not? Can we just tap it? That would make me feel a lot better, I will say. I'm getting nervous about this one. I don't know why. I don't like this stalling pattern here. I don't like this very small little lower low here pattern. I've moved my invalidation out up to winning $26. Yeah, if we were to have a 1 point pullback here, I wouldn't be happy about it. Come on, now's the time. All right, 750.81. Don't fail there again. Tap the out. You're supposed to tap the odd integer outs. 750.84. I'm going to move my invalidation up even higher now. I mean, it looks like 750.87. Tap the out. You're supposed to tap this one. 750.87 still, so another 10 cents. 750.89, and you can see the 750.90 or 89 was basically right on my out. In fact, maybe I should move it another cent, another tick higher. Yeah, one more tick higher. Let's not. Why am I doing that? Anyway, all right. So my invalidation out is now $55 win. It did tap my. I mean, it did get my out right. It touched it. I still think that it didn't quite touch 751. It made 750.9, and that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I am looking for like 750.95, honestly. Yeah, 750.90 is still not exactly what I wanted. But the problem is that when you're this close to a winning trade and you're now trying to win, we're talking $5, right? I'm trying to get a few ticks higher. I'm trying to win $5, but my losing exit is now $30 lower, you know, and that's because I've moved it up. My losing exit could be $100 lower. So the math does change, actually. When you get very close to your out, you're now trying to win $10 against a losing exit that can be $100 away. You know, like the math does actually shift. And I haven't quite figured out a good solution for that. Am I seriously I'm gonna have my losing exit touched here? Is that what's gonna happen? Don't do this to me. Fucking Christ. That is what's gonna happen. Come on. Don't. I mean, this one did touch it. It touched it. It just didn't grab it. Seriously? Fuck you. Fuck you. With your down candle bullshit. Motherfucker, are you serious with this? Yeah. Yep. I am about to lose this trade. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, I'm about to lose this trade. Son of a bitch. One or two ticks away from it. That's it. You piece of fucking shit. I'm very upset about that. Very upset about that. Fuck that. That's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Alright, revenge trade. I don't care. Stupid revenge trade. I'm doing it. Bottom right down here. I'm going to give up another $8. Just throw the $8 away because I am... Fuck that. This was supposed to hit my out up here. Not... It did hit my out up there. And it didn't take it. It was supposed to. Screw you. Alright. Risking $7 to pick up $26. Obviously not a good trade, but I'm just too shocked that this actually fucking went down and touched my exit here instead of the exit that it had touched it. It touched it. That was supposed to be a winner. Ah, shit, the baby's home. Fuck. Alright, doesn't matter. I need a break anyway. Either it'll touch my winning out or I'll lose another $7. Whatever. I'm stepping away for a second. I'm gonna leave it running because I will. Fucking bastards. I can't believe that. How the fuck do I lose that? This was supposed to touch my winning out. Did I get my out yet? No. Okay. Didn't do it yet. Okay. I don't want to lose too much on this revenge trade, so I'll move it up to here. Baby's home. I'm trying to clean up the plumbing mess that he sawed through the ceiling. Just, perfect environment for trading, really. Focused. Full attention on the screen. Exactly where you want to be. At least, you got to clear out down here if you want it. I mean, God damn it. I can't believe I'm fucking... Can I just watch my trade? Can I just watch the trade for once in my life? Not have fucking 50,000 things to do? And then I have to deal with my family, who seems to think that me being distracted and having all this other shit to take care of, it doesn't affect the trading at all. No. I mean, if I was a janitor or I worked at McDonald's, then I'd get full attention to those jobs. Those jobs obviously require a lot of focus, a lot of concentration. You got to be, you got to go into the office and take care of them. But trading, making, decisions for hundreds of dollars in 5 or 10 second time periods, that doesn't require focus, right? Get so sick of trying to explain it to people, honestly. I do have to actually focus on what I'm doing, believe it or not. People don't get it. They think you can just trade magically. No attention span needed. No focus on it. It just happens, right? Yeah, just boom. I can magically trade and do it all. I don't even have to think about it. I just do it subconsciously. Fucking baby is calling me. Honestly, I should make this entire channel and stream not about trading, but about how a person's life responsibilities drag them down and make them unable to complete the tasks they actually want to complete. Do you hear that? That's the baby screaming my name. She's crying. My wife could help me, but expecting her to help me is like laughable. Laughable. The idea of her participating in actually reducing the load that I have to carry. Yeah, right. All right. I'm going to lose this trade too, and that's that. It does look like we've topped out here, and I'm going to move my winning exit down to here. I'm just going to take a quick profit at this point, mainly because the baby is crying and I just can't focus on it anymore and make good decisions. So yeah, what do I actually think is going to happen? It looks like we may have topped out at 751, which doesn't surprise me. Like I said a million times, I was scared of 751. We did get to 750.9. I thought we'd actually touch 751. But maybe 750.9 is the top. And do I think we could eventually get to 752? Yeah, I do. I do think we could get to 752. I just I'm not sure about it. That's all it comes down to. 751 scared me. It's now shown resistance a couple times. I've got a baby that won't stop crying. So So it's time to step away. Whatever. I was down $65. I'm only down $15 now. I made $50 back on that trade. Should have been 80 because my out up here was touched. The out up here was touched. It was just one of those cases where it was touched and not grabbed. That cost me $30. Plus all the shit I have to do. Yeah, it's put me in a pretty bad mood right now. So I'm going to stop streaming at this point. Come back later when I feel a little better. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing much of anything. I think we could go to 752 still. I really do. I just don't know what kind of ride it's going to be, and yeah, I'm getting more and more pissed off the more I think about it, to tell you the truth. Well, thank you, Frisky, for subscribing. Yeah, I'm getting more and more pissed off as I sit here stewing on how this out didn't get hit, how this out down here, my losing exit just got tapped, how I got back in, how it went up, how my second losing exit just got tapped, and how it's probably going to go up here and be a winner. All right, there's like 3 trades I'm stewing over right now. All right, it's break time. Stepping away, doing something else. You know, when I do this, it's like the casino dealers, right? Nothing to hide, nothing in my sleeves. All right, yeah. Good luck, guys. I don't want to give any advice right here because I feel a little off kilter. It's lunch hour. Oh, wait, lunch hour is about to end. It's 1 p.m. All the more reason to step away for a few minutes. All right. Hopefully I'll be back on later.